Michael and Irene Martinez, and we have been married 47 years. 46 years. I was stationed in Santa Ana, California, and I was in the military, and Irene was a blind date. A friend of mine said was dating a girl from Santa Barbara.
And she was my best friend.
And so he set me up with a blind date, and went to Santa Barbara and met her, and been together ever since.
I'm Gilbert and Signs, and I've been married 43 and a half years to
Cecilia Signs. We've been married 43 and a half years.
We met in Corpus. We were both in school. I was 19 and I was in my second year of school, and Cecilia was, came as a freshman that particular year, and we met. It was a kind of an interesting meeting. I think she was with another fella, and I gave them a ride someplace. But the rest is history.
We dated for about 3 years and married when we were 21 and 22.
My name is Pam Olson, and Brian and I have been married for 28 years this July.
And I'm Brian Olson, and she's right. We've been married for 28 years come this July. We met on an airplane in Memphis, Tennessee. It was on its way to Chicago in winter of 1986.
What's more interesting is it wasn't the plane I was supposed to be on, and due to bad weather, I had to switch planes to get home, maybe 15 to 30 minutes earlier. And as I'm getting on the plane I wasn't supposed to be on, I see his head at the back of the plane over the seats, and my boarding pass happened to be the seat next to his. So we think it was God's plan all along.
We're John and Dolores, John D. LaHunt and Dolores Haynes, and we've been married for almost 23 years. Anniversary is next week.
Next month.
Anniversary is next month.
We actually met in college doing a multicultural Christmas production. We were both involved with a mutual friend of ours. I was singing for her and he was playing guitar.
And then I latched onto her a couple years later. She was dealing blackjack at a charity benefit, and I was playing blackjack, and I sat down at her table and I never
With a
left.
date.
My date went home. And I stayed. And then I stalked her for a good
several months.
several months.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we got the band thing going back together again, and then we went to see Batman, the first Batman movie, and it was sold out. So we went home, and that was the beginning.
Yep.
Well, I had been a single parent for over 10 years, so it was really unnatural for me to put my husband first. It was just kind of a foreign concept, but slowly through time, through God's grace and His Word and teachings in the church, I slowly was able to put Brian first, and in doing that, it just changed me.
Well, I found out about 20 years ago that it wasn't all about me after all. Mm-hmm. And my marriage to Pam has enabled me to realize that and to focus more on her needs than on my own. Mm-hmm. And in doing that, realizing what a great gift I have in being married to Pam. Pray.
Yes. Now, yes, we pray about it. We're able to talk about things now that before would have led to arguments, fights, passive aggression, the silent treatment, all of that. But, now we are able to pray about it. We talk about it. We are able to come up with a plan and actually follow through with the plan.
And humility, asking for forgiveness, acknowledging, owning up to what you've done, owning up to your part of what that is, and thinking through what your part of that is. We found out in the process of studying our marriage closely that what I thought maybe was okay because of something that she did was actually, what she did was actually because of something that I did. And it just we are going around and around in circles with each other. And now that we're able to stop and look at each other in the eye and say, this is what I feel, it's so much easier.
To me, that is the cornerstone. You have got to realize, we all have to realize that there's a reason why God commands us to forgive each other. It's not if you feel like it. It's not if you want to. It's not if you're right, he's not. But it's because the Creator knows that how destructive it is for us to have unforgiveness. It bogs down our relationships. It holds us hostage. It holds our marriages, and our whole families suffers when there's unforgiveness. So there's just no way to move it forward if we don't learn how to. And it's really something that I've had to learn how to do. It did not come easy. Still sometimes doesn't come easy, but it comes easier now.
So I think that, without that radical forgiveness means that you have radical acceptance of the person that you're living with, that you're married to. And without that radical acceptance, the relationship doesn't move forward. So I guess that was the John Wayne version of forgiveness. But, you're just not going to grow. You're not going to move forward unless you forgive. You're always going to be holding that grudge.
I think a lot of times it's what's up here. We allow outside things to get in the way. We think that if we hold things in, we don't want to express our emotions, or we're hesitant. As a man, pride gets in my way. And, I think that you don't want to show the emotion. I didn't grow up with any physical emotion, and so it was hard for me to learn what emotion really was all about in love. And I think that, it's after we've been married so long, 46 years is a long time. And we know we love each other, but over time it seems like you lose that, not so much the attraction, but that, the partnership in the sense of talking and getting, with each other. And it's something that you can't forget, You have to always remember that your partner is sitting there with you.
No, really, age. It's age. Sure, you have your intimate moments, but it's not like when you were 20 and you were always on each other,
And Shad, that's one of the biggest issues that really got in our way. Okay, because when I had my heart problems, what I did not realize when I had the surgery and stuff, they told me that it would impact me emotionally and in other ways. What they didn't tell me, that it would totally change my drive for sex.
Yeah.
And it just took it completely away. And physically, it was like I felt like I wasn't a man anymore at the point. And that's part of the problem we had, because I never talked to her about it.
Yeah,
And
he
I
just
shared it with
rejected
her.
me.
Yeah.
He just pushed me away and said, I don't want nothing to do with you.
And
Hello.
then we found out that, what? It isn't sex. The emotional intimacy is everything. The peck on the cheek, the pat on the shoulder, the hello, the holding hands.
The
all
hugging.
of that. Yeah, the hugging, and sitting on the couch and talking to each other instead of looking at each other. Really conversing. And so, it's, the candle, it's going to burn, but it may not be as bright. but it does burn.
That's good.
I think that one of the big ways that we honor God in our marriage is through re-engage, because we've been down a long and twisted road of, an unhealthy marriage relationship that really just existed for so many years, to this beautiful, dynamic relationship that's sorry about that. That's continuing to grow. We're growing together. We're growing closer to God, and it's almost unimaginable to me that we are the same people that started out, because it's so vastly different now.
A couple of years ago, we recognized that we needed to make a big change in our marriage, and we call it the upgrade. We changed from a contract marriage, a civil union made and blessed by man, essentially, to a covenant relationship made and blessed by God. And we put God at the center of our marriage, and we did that very intentionally in front of our friends and in front of our families. And we made a decision that our marriage was going to be about God, and we made a decision that we were going to pursue God and pull ourselves towards God. And as we come towards God, we come together. We form that triangle where we were apart, and now as we approach God, as we seek God, as we chase after God, we each benefit from it. We each draw together from it. We also are now in the habit of reading the same part of the Bible every day. And so we're on a Bible in a year chronological reading, and now we have something to talk about, because we can sit down and talk about how Moses was so timid and tried to get away from it for 5 times before God finally said, "Get out there and lead my people to freedom." And we can talk about that as a dinner table conversation, and it's in the context of what we've just read, and that, I think, draws us together. And there's more. We pray together, and we pray together so much more often than we used to. And praying together draws us together because we're feeling the same things, we're seeing the same things, and it's creating many more bonds, more of those little tiny connections between us that make us inseparable. Those things, I think, honor God, because we recognize that we are each other's gift from God, and we have to honor each other to honor Him.
I would say that never, ever give up. If you're a married couple, you're going to have issues. There's going to be problems. And the easy way out is to throw your hands up and to walk away. But when you do that, you not only hurt yourself, your family, your kids, you hurt everybody else around you. And there are things to do. There are options. Take advantage of those options. But the best option you have is go to God. Go to God and say, "Help me," because He wants us. He wants us when we're down the lowest in the dump. And go to God, and it can be fixed. But He is the only person that can totally repair the problems.
All I could say is believe, trust, pray, and it'll all work out, because the Lord's going to do it for you. You just have to believe.